It's good. Okay, we good? Hello, hello. Okay. I'm going to put this back in here. All right, hello everyone. Welcome to Muskogee Civic Engagement. Thank you all for coming here. All right, my name is Micah, and I'll be your host tonight. I'll be kind of guiding things along. All right, I'm a deacon at Ecclesia Muskogee. Those of you who are from Ecclesia know who I am. All right, some of you who are not from Ecclesia also know who I am. All right. I worked for the Gospel Rescue Mission here in town for about 3 years and currently work for the Muskogee Post Office. You guys know coming in here that it was a little bit difficult to find this building. When I first worked at the post office for about a year, I delivered this route. And I delivered the mail to the wrong building for probably about a week while I was trying to figure out because the buildings are all kind of confused. But anyway, so I have a wife and 3 daughters who are here. I have one who's 2, one who's 1, and then one who's still cooking. I've only lived in Muskogee for around 5 years, but have made this my home. And I'm personally striving to get involved locally, which is the point of this event, to get to know some people, to get people to know other people, all of those sorts of things. All right, our goal today, we have 2 goals, I guess, is motivation and networking, as implied by the name, conference and networking event. All right, we hope the following talks will get everybody's mind set on going out and getting involved politically and otherwise. I know politics is a bad word. We'll talk about that here in just a minute. If you're here, you're evidently a member of this community in one way or another, involved in the community even if you don't live in Muskogee directly. The sort who are interested in attending a political networking event. You're one of those intentional people, at least, in getting involved. The sorts of people who have the will to get things done. Another topic to be talked about here in a minute. My hope is that some of you can build connections here that will lead to meaningful community action and change in the future. To that end, don't be shy. Start a good conversation with someone you don't know. On to our schedule for the evening. After this introduction, we'll have a 20-minute break for networking. Following this, we'll have our first talk by Brett Baggett, if you don't include my talk. At that point, it would be a second talk. All right? Then we'll have an additional 20-minute break, and then finally, we'll have our second talk by Daniel Chepkoskis. After that, we'll have a closing. Due to some scheduling issues, we'll not have the third planned talk on citizen activism, which you guys may have seen on the image. Hello. Now to wrap up this introduction, I want to set the tone for the following talks by addressing one question. Has a lot of implications, but one question to start with. And that question is, what is politics? Now consider for a moment the recent city council race. Recall the mudslinging, the flyers, the online drama, all these sorts of things that you guys probably know about. Despite all of that, recall the low voter turnout. Very low. Is this politics? As things are, we tend to hear the term politics as a bad word, as I've mentioned to a lot of people, signifying partisan blood sports, perhaps a large game of Monopoly. Certainly no one wants to be called a politician. But is this conception of the substance of politics, or is it just a method? Literally, politics refers to those things pertaining to the polis. Now, what is the polis? It's the city, the people together. While we may be disposed to think primarily in terms of individual goods, even as conservatives, politics is naturally relational and community-oriented. I want to direct our thoughts today to a more classical conception of politics as the art and science of a flourishing community. Politics starts with a number of givens. A person born into a family, in a community with a particular state of affairs and unique needs. It starts with natural relations between individuals and groups of people, between husbands and wives, parents and children, a man to his neighbors, the constituent elements that come together to form a larger social unit that we call a society, a community, a people, a polis, as I said before. Politics is an expression of the natural affections of an individual for their particular polis, their particular community, for those men and women around them, of the duties their relations obligate them to. It is an act of recognizing that you are part of something bigger than yourself. Gratitude for the people and place that you recognize as home. In short, politics is love. Politics is a pursuit of the good, not only or primarily for ourselves, it is loving our neighbors as ourselves. So if that's what politics is, how should we do politics? What should be our assumption and our methodology? G.K. Chesterton famously said, there's lots of different paraphrases, I couldn't find the exact one, but a real soldier does not fight because he has something he hates in front of him, he fights because he has something he loves behind him. You see, it's not so much that politics should never look like a fight. That's not what I'm saying. But that whether in good times or bad, politics is never more or less than a labor of love. Not love for ourselves, but for the other, for those given to us, you could say. Let us recall the words of 1 Corinthians 13. You guys probably know this. Love is patient and kind. Love does not envy or boast. It is not arrogant or rude. It does not insist on its own way. It is not irritable or resentful. It does not rejoice at wrongdoing, but rejoices with the truth. Love bears all things, believes all things, hopes all things, endures all things. Love never ends. Now, what does that mean for us? If politics is love, then our tone, our conduct, our strategy must look like love. And love wants to actually achieve the goods that it desires for the other. Love, therefore, is not weakness, not naivete. Instead, it's patience, truthfulness, endurance, and courage. And put sharply, if politics is the duty of love we owe to our neighbors and families, then apathy is not neutrality. It's negligence. It's a sort of hatred, you could say. So what does a community look like without love? Our public safety, our schools, our trust for one another, for our leaders, businesses, our voter turnout, a lot of relevant issues. If our people will not love their neighbors, then who will? The following two speakers today will go on to further elucidate the will to win and the importance of local politics, both of which naturally flow from our natural obligations to love that we have for the people around us. As we move forward, keep in mind that politics is important. Getting involved is important because our community is important. These people, our families and neighbors, are important. Now, following from this, we're going to break shortly for some networking time, probably around 20 minutes, and then Brett Baggett, right there, will come up for our first talk. All right?